Hello, thank you for joining me at Bert's Books, where today loosely the theme is going to be don't neglect your own high street shops. Now sometimes it's I'll just have a casual trawl along out there and end up picking up, oh sorry, sirens. There is that aspect to this neighbourhood as well, but yeah, sometimes I'll just have a sort of casual trawl up and down the road there and come back sort of amazed at what I'd found. I mean, one aspect of this is, I think I've said before, make use of your local library. Use it or you lose it. Anyway, I came away with this bit of sobering reading, which sort of is a bit out of key with my usual frivolous type of pulpy stuff. This is really, I don't need to tell you, this is really disturbing. If you'd seen there was a documentary about this fairly recently, which I do remember. I wish I could think when someone first said this to me. I do remember being told, and I think this might have been in the 90s, the place I was working only had a very, very indirect relationship with Harrods. It's a long story, but there was a very indirect kind of connection, arguably. But I think it may have been there where somebody mentioned to me, if you're a young woman working at Harrods, don't get stuck on your own. Don't get stuck on your own in that stockroom when that guy makes his rounds. I do remember someone mentioning this to me many, many years ago. So, when this stuff blew up, I was a bit, it was hardly a well-kept secret, was it? It's not all that surprise that we thought, didn't Ali G get in a sort of sneaky joke on him? I could be so-and-so, and you could be old dirty bastard. But anyway, yes, he certainly was. This is, the many implications of this is the kind of the network which supported and enabled him to do those things. The whole HR sort of personnel structure, as I suppose they called it at the time, this whole security structure around him. Yeah, really unsettling stuff, but necessary reading anyway. But anyways, let's move away from that rather serious side of things to now this purely on the strength of the cover. I've no idea, never heard of it or the author, but who could turn down that cover? That just looks amazing. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've no idea what to expect from this, but that cover just sold. Now, the next thing I got, slightly unusual choice. I don't have a lot of recipe books, but again, hard to turn that one down. I'm a bit of a rum person. I'm sometimes known to be glugging it when I'm making these videos, though I'm not tonight because it's a school night. So, yeah, this was difficult to turn down. However, on closer inspection, I realise how, though I do have more than one brand of rum out there in the kitchen. However, on close inspection, you realise, oh God, there's all this other stuff. Now, it does give you recipes for some of it. You can home make your kind of sugar syrup and those sort of things. However, there's a lot of other things featured, such as orange curacao. Now, maybe this is where I'm going wrong. I'm just not the sort of person who would have a kitchen or a cabinet full of items such as orange curacao, but maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I need to rethink my life on that. But anyway, there are, I don't know how many, there's just endless. Some of these recipes originate from your kind of Trader Vic, kind of tiki vintage bar owner type of people. The zombie, the coffee grog, the Dragon BB Mai Tai, the Island Holiday, the Rum Runner, the El Presidente, the Mara Amu, the Beachcombers Gold is endless. So I guess I'm probably going to have to start on the simple ones. Cuba Libre I could probably do. The Dark and Stormy is probably within my reach. I will report back. Maybe I'll do a sort of limited taster session video on that. Anyway, it was a bit odd because I saw this, pulled it off the shelf, and the next book to it just like almost magically fell into my hands, and it's almost as if it was calling to me, and the next book to it was this. another Panzer Platoon novel, Anzio Attack by Gunter Lutz, whose work I think I've discussed probably maybe 3 months ago. I touched on one of these, the sort of loose theme I've got for the sub-Sven Hassel authors, the kind of also-ran Hassel wannabes, of which Gunter Lutz was one. I still know very little about the author, but I'd not read this book before, and again, it's got this fantastic cover art. I mean, it's maybe done in the same style or even by the same artists as those old Airfix or Matchbox or Revell kits you used to get. So here we've got, I like the way a lot of the titles in this series read like really bad advice. There's one called Invade Russia. Attack Anzio. I don't know who that's aimed at, whether that's aimed at America, or the Allies or the Germans. I'm not quite sure. Could apply to either, I suppose, but we'll find out as I get into it. And I do like the extra bit of blurb here. Death-dealing men and machines in the steel storm of total war. That sounds like it needs to be read by the guy who does the voiceovers on the War Thunder videos on here. That or Matt Berry. But anyway, there's Armoured Advance on the back. So, they always promise great things. They tend to be quite formulaic. The Lutz titles, they're not as silly as Sven Hassel or Leo Kessler, but they're not all that memorable either, I suppose. And not terribly convincing as war fiction, but I just love the covers so much. So anyway, that was a bit of a lucky and weird find. So that was my Saturday. I will report back on the cocktails. We'll see how that goes. I'm tempted to experiment in front of the camera with bottles and I don't know if I have shakers and things, but I'll find a way. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this, and I hope to see you soon.